Hi everyone, it's Chenso from Reality Art Pod, here to recap the first three episodes of Peacock's House of Villains. This is my first season recapping this show, but they changed the schedule and the stars aligned. Here we are. If you like this video, consider liking, subscribing, and watching along on Peacock. But let's dive into it. We're so back with Joe McHale as host. This all-star cast is competing for $200,000. They start off with a choreographed dance, which sets the season off to a fun tone. First to enter is Tom Sandoval, who's already overproducing his entrance line. It's come to this, it's come to this. Tom is here because he has a history of being a cheating bastard, but we last saw him on the Traitors being a bad faithful. But there's somebody already here lurking around the house. Next to arrive is Selling Sunset's Christine, known by me for her absolutely insane wedding, which is the best episode of Selling Sunset. Christine likes Tom's makeup and pretends to like the house. New York, the HBIC enters from the bathroom. New York implies she never left the house and deems herself the HVIC head villain in charge. Drag Race's Plain Jane is here to tell everyone they're wearing rags from a kid's bedroom. Big Brother's Paul is screaming in confessional. That's that Big Brother espresso. Paul's luggage is a black pirate's chest, saying they brought a bunch of haunted objects. New York calls Paul a low-budget Captain Hook. Captain Hank. Survivor winner Tyson is here just for the money. Tom instantly wants to work with Tyson. Basketball wives Jackie has a grand entrance in her cape and crushes a basketball with her bare hands. New York knows Jackie, but Jackie makes clear she has no fear of New York. We've got the challenges Ashley Millionaire Mitchell, looking stoned and elegant. Love Island's Johnny tells us he's a villain because he's got playaways. Johnny even has Tyson feeling weak in the knees. Next, Below Deck and Traitors Kate Chastain, who calls herself a proud bitch. Kate tells us she wants to win this show by accident. Kate asks New York for her name. The first mistake. How do you not know who New York is? Firstly, in general, but also she's been on every season of the show you're on right now. New York tells Kate she can keep that handshake to herself. Ashley promises us she wants to get drunk and hook up with Johnny for us. I appreciate her dedication to fan satisfaction. Kate has stolen Jackie's bed, but they smooth it over. Kate asks to be New York's roommate. New York says she at least respects that Kate is outspoken, so she has some respect for Kate. A long-awaited return to reality TV, Drita from Mob Wives. This woman is hilarious and out of her mind. Drita drops about 10 F-bombs just in her search for a bed. New York has worked with Drita before. She's happy to see her. There's 10 beds for 11 people, so Drita doesn't have a bed and is already tired of being treated like a jerk-off. Players bond. New York tells Kate she's engaged to an older man who proposed to her quick and in a hurry. Players get a big box, which reveals a mystery lever and a 10-minute timer. Tyson quickly pulls the lever crunk. Tyson tells us he knows from his experience the show would be cowards to send him home for pulling the lever. It's gotta be some kind of advantage. They're told to head to the front of the house. Joel pulls up riding on Johnny Banana's back. Bananas drove there to flip everyone off and leave. Plain Jane tells us Joel's skin looks dry as hell and he needs moisturizer. Joel explains the rules. Each week they'll compete in challenges to become the supervillain and fight to avoid being in the bottom and voted out of the game. Joel tells Tyson that for pulling the lever, he'll be the first supervillain and put 3 other players on the hit list. He also gets the key to the supervillain suite. That'll be Tyson's room as long as he stays in the game. Joel departs with hands on Banana's chest. Tom has lost his roommate Tyson to his new, gorgeous green and gold suite, but Christine calls Tyson's room a glorified closet. Tom is spiraling. He doesn't want to live with a woman and have to dodge the cheating allegations. He encourages Tyson to give the room away. So Tyson offers the room to Plain Jane. Jane says, I'll take the room if you keep me off the chopping block. Now that's how you negotiate. Jane is worried that having the room will make her a target. Players strategize, knowing Tyson has to nominate 3 people for elimination tomorrow. Roommates Paul, Johnny, and Ashley plan to team up with Tom and Tyson to run the house. Ashley does a cartwheel and throws a knife, which was wild. New York is worried she'll have beef with Tyson. She tries to smooth things over, telling Tyson to just nominate men, which he laughs at. Heading to their challenge, they're told to dress in office attire. Everyone's in office chic. Tom has dressed as Dwight. They'll be playing corporate hell, told to split into 2 teams. Teams are Drita, Tom, Ashley, Plain, and Johnny, and Christine, Jackie, Kate, New York, and Paul. They'll play a relay race where each member of the team has to complete one task inspired by 7 deadly sins, except lust, which HR has banned, and sloth, which is Tyson, who won't compete. The first team to complete their tasks and take a prideful selfie will win immunity, and 3 of the 5 losers will be chosen by Tyson to be up for elimination. They get started with New York and Tom taking on greed, finding a $100 bill in a money tornado. Tom quickly finds his. New York is floundering, but does find her bill. Heading to Gluttony, where Plain and Paul race to eat a cake. Plain wharfs hers down and continues her team's lead. In the next room, Wrath, they have to destroy office equipment. Johnny quickly finds a photo of Joel in the equipment and completes the task. In Envy, they have to make a tear run down their cheek. Drita squeezes out a tear, thinking about her dog Lucky. Jackie is taking forever in the Wrath room, as the other team who's dominated the game has Ashley on their final Pride mirror puzzle. After Jackie finds Joel's picture, Christine just can't cry, blaming her setting spray. So Ashley completes the puzzle, making Ashley, Johnny, Drita, Tom, and Plain safe for the week. Paul, Kate, New York, Jackie, and and Christine are eligible to be nominated. Tyson gets to choose 2 players to bring with him on reward. He chooses Plane and Paul to join him on the supervillain outing. So this chaotic trio heads to the roller rink, where Paul is an excellent skater. Back at the house, the girls assume that Paul is working the strategy on the reward. Cut to the reward players skating like children and talking no game. Eventually they talk. Tyson tells Paul he's going to nominate Paul as a decoy, basically saying he's nominating Paul as a pawn who will win their way out of the danger zone to avoid Tyson nominating 3 women and then becoming target of all the women. Paul's not scared of being a pawn, but still feels like Tyson is being sneaky. They head back to the house. Plane plans to act clueless today as Tyson fills everyone in on his plan. Ashley continues to want to work with the guys, telling them that Drita confirmed the girls have an alliance. Paul tells the girls that Tyson is being shady. Christine thinks Tyson really sees Paul as a threat, and that's why Tyson's nominating Paul. Players get ready for the hit list ceremony, where Tyson is playing mind games. New York calls him an amazing liar to his face. New York thinks Jane looks like Jennifer Lopez, but Plane says she looks like Kris Jenner. I think she looks like Susan from Golden Bachelor. At the ceremony, Tyson announces his nominations. Paul, who tells Tyson he has to take Paul on at least 2 dates before fucking Paul. Next, Christine, who says Tyson is full of shit. Christine tries to have a moment, but it's so weak. If I'm ever on TV thinking I'm doing my big one and they put a ticking clock in front of my speech, just take me out back. Which takes us into episode 2, where Tyson concludes his nominations with Jackie, who tells Tyson now he's got a problem. She's coming for that ass. Back in the house, Jackie's still pissed and calls Tyson a nasty snake liar and a bad boy. She excuses herself to bed. Christine has no idea what's going on. Who won what competition? Who went on the reward excursion? Johnny and Christy say they've met before at a bar and flirted, but never reconnected. Johnny is big into Christine. He likes what she's got going on. Tyson thinks he has an alliance with Paul, but Paul is secretly very upset with Tyson and ready to rain down hell on Tyson. Drita and Kate see the bromance starting between Tyson and Tom as the boys have a slumber party, even spending a while in the morning filming a buddy comedy trailer. No one will ever suspect you have an alliance when you're sharing a bowl of cereal. Johnny doesn't avoid the player allegations when he's flirting with Ashley, but it's revealed that Christine, who was just flirting with Johnny, has a boyfriend back home. Oop, 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 oop. New York approaches Tyson for an alliance. They agree to have each other's back. Paul and Jane find a bond over not feeling they fit in with the guys, and checking in with the girls, Christine's plan today is to shave her coochie for empowerment. Christine wants to do a Cuban shuffle, a strategy Christine has invented where she and Jackie both win the challenge and safety. The producers tell Christine the Cuban shuffle is impossible. Jane does her day 3 twerk. An angry woman enters and calls them common whores. This woman is Claudia. Then a man enters. They do a whole performance where there's a multi-person soap opera that goes on far too long, ending with Father Joel McHale being the baby's father. Joel tells them this was their redemption challenge, bringing the drama. They'll be asked questions about what they saw. This was very boring. I assumed Paul would win this. It's a very big brothery challenge, and Paul does eventually win it and will be safe. So Christine or Jackie will be eliminated at the next banishment. Kate tells us Jackie's playing a terrible game. She's bad at challenges, loud, and won't stop crying. Tyson encourages Christine to have a positive vibe. He sees Christine as someone he can manipulate. New York gives Jackie some good strategic advice, telling her not to lose her cool. New York plans to support Jackie because she knows her off the show. Christine and Johnny continue to flirt. Johnny asks Christine if she has a boyfriend. She tenses up and changes the subject, saying she wants an alliance. Jackie's campaign to Johnny is she doesn't need money and she'll help the others to win the money, and that Christine has a boyfriend at home. That is a good revelation. One conversation with Tiffany Giesling, and Jackie is now Jackie Diaz Twine. Drita is annoyed with Christine because she leaves a trail of clothes and eyelashes all over their room. Drita makes clear to the others she's not a follower. She's gonna vote however she wants to, and this time she's voting Christine out. So some of the girls are leaning towards sending Christine home, but the guys tell Plane their plan is still to eliminate Jackie. Turns out Drita is a fan of Johnny's from Love Island, but wouldn't let Johnny date her daughter. New York encourages Jackie to talk game and handholds Jackie through the strategy conversations, encouraging her to make promises to people. Jackie tells Johnny and Paul that one of the guys promised her safety. She's talking about Tom, but leaves it ambiguous. Tom admits to Johnny that he shook Jackie's hand, with flashback to Jackie basically saying, Tom, you can vote however you want, and I won't be mad, and then Tom shakes her hand. So he didn't really promise her anything. But Tom is paranoid if he votes Jackie out, he'll lose Jackie's jury vote in the end and ruin his reputation, so he's considering voting Christine out. Paul is using this to fan the flames, to create chaos in Tyson's alliance. Players head to the stronghold for their banishment ceremony, where Christine and Jackie will sit in their chairs and hope not to be jettisoned into banishment. Joel loves that Jackie is wearing a coat and using a fan. They have final speeches. Christine's argument to be saved is she's dumb and a hot mess, and seems to think those are her actual strengths. Jackie says she wants to be there and that she's got so much money in the real world, implying she can help them financially off the show. Players get to voting, which leads us into episode 3, where Joel reveals by a vote of 5-3, the first villain banished is Jackie. Instead of being flipped backwards, they're sucked back, which is less fun, but probably more safe. So we lose Jackie here, which I don't don't mind given that she was the only person who I didn't recognize on this cast. I just don't watch that show. I'm sure she's a big personality on her show, but here she was out of her element, had no clue how to play the game, and needed New York's help. She seemed to only use things outside of the show as reasons she should stay on the show. I don't think she had any chance of winning had she stayed, so whatever. Ashley thinks one of her allies flipped on that vote and voted Christine out. Now she's on a mission to find out who. Tom is being sketchy around the house. Johnny isn't sure how Tom voted at this point. New York and Drita are clearly the two votes for Christine. The third vote is a mystery still to even us. Players are given royal outfits. Ashley isn't connecting with the other girls in the house. She thinks they're dumb and not on her level in the game. Paul reveals to us that they were the chaos vote against Christine to cause chaos and doubt in the house, which seems to be succeeding. At their next daily battle royale challenge, they're having a tea party, but Joel is dressed as an astronaut, still no explanation why. He introduced a special guest, Queen Victoria from season 2. Victoria explains they'll be playing Toxic Tea Party. In every round, they'll be blindfolded. Victoria will hand one player at random a toxic tea. That person will give their toxic tea to another player to poison them. The poison player will then guess who gave them the tea. If they're right, the player who gave them the tea will die and be eliminated. If they're wrong, they'll die. The last player standing will be supervillain of the week. They get started. In round 1, Tyson gets the poison, gives it to Drita. Drita guesses it was Johnny and is poisoned. In round 2, New York poisons Paul. Paul guesses Tyson, signaling to the group there may be trouble in their alliance, and Paul dies. Johnny poisons Christine, who guesses Kate and dramatically passes away. It's so hard to guess this right in the beginning. Tom poisons Kate. Ashley kills New York. Plane poisons Tom, and Tom does guess right, so Plane dies instead. Plane says she'll come back and ride Tom's pathetic cock to his grave. She snatches her own wig and tragically dies. It comes down to Ashley and her guys' alliance. Ashley poisons Tom, but Tom guesses Ashley right too, eliminating her from the game. Tom poisons Tyson, and Tyson guesses Tom, so Tom, who was eating in this challenge, is sent to hell. Tyson and Johnny are the final two. They'll have 1 minute to decide who between them will drink poison and die. If they can't decide, they'll both die, and third place Tom will become the supervillain. They decide to poison Tyson, making Johnny the supervillain of the week. Johnny chooses Drita and Tom to join him on his reward. Before the ceremony is even over, New York pops off on Johnny, still upset that Johnny told her to go to hell when she was killed in the challenge. Later, Plane feels threatened by Johnny because they don't really connect, but Plane has confidence and is ready to make a scene if need be. Kate is also worried. Johnny tells us the players who should be nervous are Kate and New York. Johnny also tells Paul that Tom is worried about Paul, but Johnny has no doubt that he can trust Paul and thinks Tom is a snake who he plans to betray. The next day, players put Jackie's puppet on her private jet up out of there. Paul and Plane continue to bond. Plane tells Paul about her song, Burger Finger. Christine is hoping that Johnny doesn't put her on the list because she has a boyfriend. Paul comes to Kate, telling her they're both being questioned about their votes. There's some drama because Kate said JoJo Siwa did special forces, and Johnny kept correcting Kate, so Kate has beef with Johnny about JoJo Siwa. New York talks to Johnny, telling him she thought him telling her to go to hell was fighting words, and apologizes. Later, finally, everyone's going to the fucking pool. Inside, Plane tells Johnny she doesn't usually bond with straight men, and asks to be spared from the hit list in exchange for Plane's jury vote in the end. So now Johnny doesn't want to nominate Plane, and Paul suggests to Johnny that he nominates Tom instead, using the pawn excuse. But if Tom goes home, oopsie doopsie. Plane dresses in a pink maid costume, tidies, and twerks on Johnny's bed space. Johnny, Tom, and Drita head to a shot of art. They're wearing white suits and going to the splatter room. This looks so fun, creating art and becoming the art themselves. I want to do this yesterday. Back at the house, players get an order of pizza from Joel. Paul opens the pizza and gets a twist, purple hand. That makes Paul Johnny's right-hand man. Paul will join Johnny in the nominations, where they have to agree on who to nominate, and Paul won't be able to vote in the elimination. The reward players chat. Johnny tells Tom he wants to nominate him as a pawn. Tom is shocked and betrayed, and Drita is realizing that Tom and Johnny had an alliance she didn't know about. They head home where Paul tells Johnny they have equal power in nominations. Tom begs them both not to nominate him, suggesting they nominate Plain Jane instead. Tom tells us after this conversation, he's done working with them, and Paul tells Johnny if they nominate Plain, they're ruining their games. Heading to nominations, Plain is in what she calls her riot gear, wearing probably her smallest breastplate and a hot pink ski mask. Joel calls it the Pussy Riot Collection. Joel asks Johnny and Paul for their nominations. They nominate New York for her outburst at the challenge. New York looks so good in this gothic attire. She calls them Aquaman and the wannabe Captain Hook. Next, Kate, who Johnny accuses of spying on him, she calls those reasons made up, saying he was rude to her about JoJo Siwa. Kate says Johnny thrives on Love Island, where there's no dialogue. And their final nomination, Plain Jane. Plain calls Johnny a low-budget Drake impersonator, says he's been skipping leg day and looks like a refrigerator on stilts, and calls Paul a bitch leech. So that ends this episode. We leave off with New York, Plain, and Kate nominated. I don't want any of these three to go, but especially New York. I'm loyal to the soil on that one. I'd rather Kate go home of the three. I don't think she brings anything to the game, and we need serious players to go against this guy's alliance that's controlling the game. But of everyone right now, Ashley playing the best game. She's in the majority alliance and hasn't had to do anything to piss people off. But it's hard to say. I need to hear from you all. What did you think of these episodes, Jackie's departure, and who do you think will be sent home next? If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back next week, a little bit quicker. The 3-episode drop took a while to recap, but 1 episode next week. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Until next time, you know where to find me. Bye.